In this video, we're going to look at the do-while loop in Visual Basic. The do-while loop syntax starts with do-while, and then you have a condition. This is the condition that's going to be evaluated to true or false, just like the Boolean conditions in an if statement. If that condition is true, then the statements execute that are inside the loop. If they are false, then the compiler is going to drop out of the loop and the next statements will be executed. So with the do-while loop, it is a pretest loop. Pretest meaning it's going to check this condition first. If this condition is false, the loop does not execute. In an example, if sum is equal to 20, do while sum is less than 10. Sum is not less than 10, therefore the code is going to not be executed inside the loop. It's simply going to drop down to the next statements. If sum is equal to 2, then 2 is less than 10. Sum will be added, 2 will be added to sum, and then it will keep looping until sum is equal to 10. When it comes back up and sum is equal to 10, then 10 is not less than 10. At that point, it will fall out of the loop. Let's look at another example. Add all even numbers 1 to 25. Therefore, we want to skip all the odd numbers. So I've got I as a counter declared and initialized to 0. I have int results to hold my answer declared and initialized to 0. Then I have a loop that says do while I is less than 25. And then int result is equal to int result plus 1. That is going to be my accumulator that's going to hold my answer. And then because I want every other number, I'm going to increment I by 2. So it's going to go 0, because that's where I started, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and all the way up until it gets to the point where it's going to evaluate I as less than 25. So when I becomes 26, then it's no longer true and it will fall out of the loop. So let's look at this in actual code. So I already have the statement running, and I have a Boolean expression here, and it's going to check this first, and notice my I and my int result are down in my watch window. So if I step with this, it's going to show int result is equal to int result plus I. So int result is 0, I is 0 is at that point, so it's going to be 0. And then I plus equal to 2. So I becomes 2, notice down below, and it hits the loop, which is the end of it, and it pops it back up. It's going to check that condition again, I less than 25. Yes, I is less than 25, so it's going to go down, result equals result plus I. So it adds 2 to that 0, and int result is now 2. Then I plus equal to 2, that executes, I becomes 4. Hits the loop, goes back up to the do while, and checks the condition again. So I'm just going to keep clicking through this so that you can see how the values change. Okay, so I is going to keep going. And I'm at the point where I is 24, so it is less, so 24 is added to int result. I becomes 26, so it says do while I is less than 25. It is no longer, so it went out of the loop and it gets to my end sub because that's the next line of code. So with this, you can see where it's going to check that condition each time it goes through the loop. If I had not been less than 25, it never would have executed the int result or the I plus equals 2 statement. That is a do while loop.